what kind of person are you going to be? Are you going to be the person who listens to her gut and decides to continue to grow and evolve and go after more? And if so, what is the first step? Just the first small thing that you can do to start honoring your gut and what you truly want deep down inside.
You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this.
Hello, and welcome back to the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am so excited you are here. I know I say that every time, but I truly am excited that you are here taking out time from your busy day to listen to my ramblings, and I just appreciate you so much, and you are awesome. So thank you for being here. So today we are going to talk all about your gut and your intuition. So for whatever reason, recently, I have been working with women who are in the beginning phases of building businesses. And most of them are teachers who are working on building their businesses in order to either A, build up some sort of savings cushion and have a side hustle, or B, create financial stability in order to feel comfortable in order to leave the classroom in whatever the time frame is that they have set for themselves. So most of these women are working on businesses. Super amazing. And it's very interesting to me that these are the type of people that I am working with because it's exactly what I did in order to be able to leave the classroom, right? So they all have businesses and they're all different types of businesses that they're working on building. And this is one of the things that we work on during our coaching sessions together, along with, of course, all of the mindset work that comes along with venturing into owning a business and starting a business and building a business and all of that good stuff. And I have noticed one commonality between all of these women, and it's something that comes up constantly across the board every time, and it keeps coming up again and again. And the one commonality between all of these women is this gut feeling. Now, for this episode, I am going to use the word gut and intuition interchangeably, so they mean the same thing. Now, some people will call it a hunch or your instincts or even inspiration sometimes. But specifically for this episode, I'm going to use the word gut and intuition just because those are the words that I use. So it's very hard to define a gut feeling, right? It's just something that you feel like in your bones, you feel in your core. It's like a whole body yes or whole body no sometimes. And it's so hard to describe, but I know you know what it feels like when it hits you, right? So today we're going to talk all about this gut feeling. And I often hear, I have this feeling that I want more. I also hear, I love being a mom, but I want something more, something else, something that is mine. And I feel this one deeply, deeply because I am a mom. I love my boys. I love being a mom, but I understand this feeling of wanting something outside of your kids and outside of your family that is yours, right? I want to create something that's mine. I hear that a lot. And like I said, I feel this very, very deeply. I want to feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment. That's what I hear often. I think that a lot of teachers that are getting ready to leave the classroom feel worried that they won't have that sense of purpose and that sense of fulfillment anymore because teaching is so you have a serious purpose. You are changing lives every day. And as exhausted as you are, I'm going to guess that you probably walk away with fulfillment, right? I know I had that feeling through those relationships with my students and their families, and just knowing every day that I was making a difference, even if it was in a small incremental way. So I think teachers want to feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment, whether they're going to stay in the classroom or leave as far as business goes. Like, they want to start businesses that are making an impact and making a difference. It's this common feeling of wanting more and craving more. And like I said, it's a hard feeling to describe, but I totally get it because I had it when I was getting ready to leave the classroom. And I've had it, and looking back, I've had it many times in my life. And I thought it would be important to address because this is something that has been coming up consistently. And after reflecting and thinking about all of the conversations that I have with both my clients and potential clients, even in just coffee chats, talks with friends, this gut feeling is there. And once you have a thought or an idea, or you recognize that gut feeling, you cannot unthink it. And this is an interesting thought. I heard recently that thoughts and ideas jump from person to person. And if you're not ready for the thought and open for it or open to the idea, it'll jump to the next person. And I think our gut plays into this because a lot of times we push these feelings or these thoughts aside, or really we don't even notice the thoughts and ideas that come from our gut. And that need to create and build more and be more and grow and evolve into the people that we are supposed to become. But here's the thing that I've noticed. Some people will listen to this gut feeling and do something about it. And other people will push it aside and settle with staying right where they are. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with this. There is nothing wrong with this at all, with being comfortable and staying in something that you are familiar with. The problem just becomes when you have that gut feeling and you think, is there something else out there? You have a choice. You can either recognize it and do something about it, or you can say, I'm good. The women that I have been working with have this gut feeling and they are ready to do something about it. They are ambitious, they're go-getters, and they are not going to settle. They're ready to put their foot down and take action in order to move them forward towards their goal, because they're listening to their gut and they know they want more. They recognize this gut feeling and they are ready to go for it. And they also recognize and they're okay with things shifting and changing. So they lean into knowing what their goals are now, and they're okay with pivoting and shifting those goals as they learn and grow. And this is all part of listening to your gut. And I think that it's scary too, a lot of times, especially, for anybody that's a human, right? To step out of something that they're super comfortable with onto a path. And then you step onto this new path and you think, okay, here I am and here's where I'm going. But being okay with letting things flow and stepping onto different paths as you get to that next marker or that next goal or that next point, right? So the big question becomes, what are you going to do about it? What are you willing to do about that gut feeling you know you have, that you know you are made for more? It's almost like you've conquered this current mountain that you're on, and now it's time to decide if you're going to hang out on top of that mountain forever where it's easy and the view might be pretty good and you're comfortable because you know all of the ins and outs on top of that mountain. But there's a small seed or little inkling in your gut and you're wondering, what else is there? What is it like on those other mountains over there? Okay. And I know for me, this is how I felt at the end of my teaching career. Like, I left teaching for many different reasons, but I think one of those reasons too was that I felt like I had conquered that mountain. I was a really good teacher. I had classroom management. I knew how to teach. I know how to teach kids how to read. And I knew what I was doing, but the thing was, it was like, well, what is next for me? I'm just not a person that's going to sit in the same spot. And looking back, like, I've had a lot of these moments in my life where it's like, okay, I did this, now what? I did this, now what? And I think that there's beauty in that, in always recognizing that I am always going to be pushing and reaching forward to the next goal or the next thing, but also recognizing that we are constantly, as humans, we're constantly changing and evolving. And this is really the beauty of the human experience, is changing and evolving the person that you are, the person that you're becoming, and what you do and how you make an impact in the world. And I also know how great it can feel to have everything figured out and to feel like you're just kind of coasting. That is a good feeling. And I like that feeling, and I like to be comfortable. I do not like to be uncomfortable. So I get it. I get both situations, and I honor and I recognize both. Now, regardless of whether you are the type of person that's going to continuously go for more, or if you're comfortable and going to stay in that comfortable spot, again, which is totally fine, it's always a good thing to be able to listen to your gut and your intuition. It serves a purpose, and its most innate purpose is to keep us safe. And yes, your gut will help you in like a situation where it's like safe or unsafe, right? But it also can help us make decisions and guide us into what's next, like I said, to see who we are becoming as a person. So the question then becomes, how can you listen to your gut? What are some ways to listen to your guts? And I know I've had quite a few clients that are getting ready to make big decisions, and they tell me, they go, well, people say like, listen to your gut, or listen to your intuition, but I don't know how to listen to it. And I don't even know what it's telling me. And I get it. Life can be so busy and so noisy that it is literally impossible to listen to your gut when you're moving so fast and you don't have time to stop to take a breath, let alone spend some quality time with your intuition. So here are 4 ways that you can start to pay better attention to your gut just a little bit more. Now, number 1 is give yourself some quiet time. Now, I know this one is easier said than done, especially if you have young kids or if you're a teacher. Life is busy, life is noisy, life is constantly in motion. People are relying on us all day, every day. At least that's what it feels like, right? What would it look like for you to carve out 5 or 10 or 15 minutes each day to have some quiet time with no phone and no device? That's the kicker, right? No scrolling. Just a small interrupted chunk of time to just be with yourself and to be with your thoughts. Now, I know this seems like it seems impossible at first, even 5 minutes. Like, I know for me, when I first started doing this, 5 minutes seemed like an eternity. It was like my mind would immediately go to like, oh my gosh, I should be doing this right now, or oh my goodness, all the things on my list that I need to be doing. But once with practice and with intentionality, this will become easier, just like with anything else. And I've even included my kids in this. And I think with summer coming up, at the time of recording this, is the beginning of June. With summer coming up, they're going to be home, all summer. I even include them in this now as well. We started off with 2 minutes of quiet time. So every day we basically do exactly that. We have 2 minutes of quiet time. We set a timer and we just sit or lay or whatever is comfortable for them or me or whatever we feel like that day. And I explained to them that life is so busy and we're always moving and we're always going and we're always making decisions and being stimulated all the time, that it's important every once in a while, at least once a day, to just slow down and think about you don't even have to think about anything. Just be still and be with your thoughts. Now, you don't have to do this like being still. It can be done while walking. I love to take quick little walks or sitting outside in the sunshine. However you're comfortable, whatever you feel that day, just try and get in the 5 minutes of quiet time just with you. Now, sometimes I will literally try. During this time, I'll have to focus and I'll try to actually like clear my mind. And what I picture in my head is I picture like a dry erase whiteboard that's like all scribble scrabbled and there's stuff all over it. And there's thoughts and there's feelings and there's ideas and there's things that need to get done. And in my mind, what I'll do is I'll like visualize myself like literally using an eraser to just slowly erase that whiteboard. And it serves as a reset for my mind, like clear my mind, clear everything out. And that's usually too when your intuition and your gut can come through. Sometimes I'll try and pay close attention to my thoughts too. I know anybody that does any meditation practices, you can think about your thoughts kind of like cars on a freeway. So if you are observing your thoughts from the outside, just kind of noticing which thoughts are coming into your brain and then driving by, just like a car on a freeway or a highway. Sometimes too, during this time, I'll ask myself specific questions based on how I'm doing that day. And those questions include, how are you feeling today? What is on your mind today? What are you worried about today? What are you looking forward to? What new ideas do you have today? Or this could even be, what new ideas are you looking for today? How am I living up to my fullest potential today? And what did you do today that made you uncomfortable? During these quiet times it's just a chance to reset and pay attention to how I'm feeling and to give my intuition a chance to speak and pop up and let me know what's going on. So, and I will say too, like it's hard at first if you're not in the practice of doing this, but just that 5 minutes. And sometimes in the beginning too, I would just be like, okay, I'm locking myself in the bathroom. Don't bother me. Leave me alone. I need a couple minutes. And I know you can relate to that too. If you, anybody that has a busy life, right? Sometimes we just need a second to reset. So I challenge you to try to work that into your day consistently every day and see how you feel at the end of that week or so. Now, number 2 is journaling and noticing patterns in your thoughts. So this is like magic, and my own life coach helped me recognize how getting your thoughts down on paper really truly is like magic. So I call them brain dumps. I love doing a brain dump every day. And basically a brain dump is I take everything that's in my brain and I dump it out onto paper. And there really is truly something about getting things down on paper, because sometimes it feels like you're holding so many things inside your brain at one time that when you get it all out, you can either look at it and say, okay, like that's something that I can release, or that's something I don't need to hold on to, or now I have it down on paper and I don't need to like keep holding on to it so tight. So some days I'll sit down and I'll write down anything that's on my mind, literally anything that pops into my head, I will write it down on paper. And again, once it's on paper, I am able to recognize any patterns that I'm seeing, any thoughts that I'm noticing coming up over and over. I'm noticing the stories that I'm telling myself, and then I'm able to ask myself, like, is that story serving me, or what would be maybe a better story? I can look at commonalities that are popping up or things that, continuously show up there. I'll start to recognize and notice like the things that I'm worrying about, and then I can figure out either a way to solve that problem so I'm not worrying about it anymore, or I can decide that's something I don't really need to worry about. It's out of my control. I'm going to go ahead and release that and let that go. And then again, to the stories, like what stories am I telling myself? For me, journaling and writing every day gives me the same sensation of taking like a warm shower. Like I just feel better. I feel like brain feels like clean and refreshed after. And it just feels good. So I challenge you to try and do a brain dump every day as well too, either at the beginning of the day or the end of the day or the middle of the day, whenever you can fit it in, and pay attention to how it makes you feel after, and pay attention to how your intuition will come out in your writing, because a lot of times we won't notice things until we have them down on paper and we can take a step back and go, oh, that must be my gut telling me this. I also too, I love a good journal prompt, right? So here are 2 really great journal prompts that can help you better pay attention to your gut. So the first one is, when was the last time you listened to your gut, and how did it turn out? So can you even recognize a time that you really did know, like, this is my gut, I knew I needed to do whatever it was, and then how did that situation turn out? And the second one is, when was the last time you didn't listen to your gut? So these are like the moments when we look back and we go, oh, I knew it. I should have gone with my gut. So how did that situation turn out for you as well? So paying attention and noticing these things again is going to help you tap into your gut a little more and let it help guide you. Now, number 3 is trust yourself. Okay, so again, I know I'm like listing these things off like they're easy, but I recognize that they are not easy. They all take intentionality and they take consistency in order for them to become a habit. So just know that I recognize that, but you got to just try. So when we have self-trust and self-confidence, it is way easier to listen to your intuition and follow it. So trusting yourself is huge. When you trust yourself, you know you've got your own back and you're able to make decisions a little bit quicker and a little bit more confidently. You can make decisions without hesitating as much. And I talk a lot about this, about making decisions and trusting yourself and self-confidence in episode 16. So I will link that episode in the show notes. So you can go back and take a listen to hear more about that. But when you're wishy-washy and you're not sure and you're doubting yourself and you're kind of back and forth, it's a lot harder to trust your gut feelings. So you really just have to focus on trusting yourself and knowing that you got it, believing in yourself. And again, I know that this is a lot easier said than done, but the good news is that this is something that you can practice. There are things you can do every day to build that self-trust and that confidence in yourself and show up for yourself so that you know, I've got my back, I got this. And that makes it a lot easier to listen to your intuition and then act on it and listen to your gut and do something about it. Okay, number 4, last but not least, and again, this is another difficult one, but it is take action and do something about it. So what kind of person are you going to be? Are you going to be the person who listens to her gut and decides to continue to grow and evolve and go after more? And if so, what is the first step? Just the first small thing that you can do to start honoring your gut and what you truly want deep down inside. And some questions you can ask yourself are, what are you afraid of and what is holding you back? What is your gut telling you? Listen and then take action. Do the thing. Go for it. Just do it, like Nike says, right? You just have to go for it. So you get to decide. That's the beauty of this. You get to decide if you're going to listen to your gut, if you're going to pay attention to that little seed, that little feeling of like, what else is there? And this can go with anything in your life. It's again going back to just evolving and growing and becoming the person, stepping into the person that you are supposed to be and continuing to move forward to be the best person that you can possibly be. So to sum up this episode, today we talked about 4 ways to start listening to your gut a little bit more. So number 1 is to give yourself some quiet time. Just 5 minutes every day to be with your thoughts. Number 2 is to journal and notice patterns in your thoughts and in your days. Number 3 is to trust yourself. And number 4 is to take action and just go for it. Now, I always love hearing what resonates with you from these episodes, and I would love to hear what your big ahas were from this, or what your big takeaways were, what you agreed with, or even what you disagreed with. That's okay too. I would love to hear about it. So thank you so much for sticking with me today. I always love chatting with you, and until next time, I'll see you for the next episode. All right, bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.